afternoon, and thank you for joining me in another swashbuckling episode of Groovy Van Picker. Today's topic is going to be more about van, and not a whole lot about picking. Kind of a flop lately, not only that, I'm doing more working around my secret hideout. But one of the topics that I want to bring up is preparedness and prepping. I have for a number of years been one of those quote-unquote crazy preppers. Okay. Now, I'm not one of those people who's waiting for the world to blow up, because when that happens, we're all screwed anyway. You know, you be in your bunker with your cans of food, and next thing you know, you're blown to oblivion. Okay, so yeah. But a lot of people have thought I was a nut job, because I always thought it feasible to have a little bit of a stash. Okay. And especially if you are traveling in your van,
284th Street, Evans Street side in front. District 1 map page, Airport 11 Northeast.
You
Squad 1 to 4th Street Station of 284th Street, Evans Street side in front.
you don't know what's going to be happening down the road. Right now we have this thing called the coronavirus. Okay. And what that is, I guess it's something that's very contagious, came out of China or something like that, and you know, you can catch it by looking at somebody or whatever. I don't know how it's, but people are losing their minds over it, and they're prepping a little bit too late. Apparently now, people are fighting over shit paper at Wally World. And even the lines trying to get into Walmart and Winco and the larger stores are crazy. Some of these stores are actually gouging people, charging like $6 for a dozen eggs when they were like, what, $1.89? And getting crazy. So this is one of those instances where, yeah, I'm a crazy prepper. I have, in both of my vans, about a week's supply of stuff. Food, water, shit paper, stuff like that. And I'm not going to show it all to you. I mean, it's just basically the same stuff. Canned foods, you know, water. You've seen it all, okay? If you haven't, then, well, I don't know. So it's nothing you've never seen before. And basically, it would be foods that you like. Like, I'm not going to hoard, 10 jars of mayonnaise. Why? I don't like mayonnaise. So I'm not going to buy it. Some of you guys might not hoard, 3 cans of chili because you don't like chili. But I do. So the thing is, you want to hoard what is, not hoard, but you want to have a little bit of an extra stash of what you like to eat and what you prefer. Yes, I have a stash of cigars too. So basically, in your van, whether you're living in it or you're just a camper, weekend warrior, or whatever, I strongly suggest, and I've done this for years, okay, I've kept a big old tub, or sometimes 2, full of food, canned goods, stuff that I like, even pipe tobacco and a couple of pipes, okay, because I smoke a pipe. And my van is set up so I could literally, because I'm, I am a vehicle dweller, But my vans have been set up even before I even thought about doing this. And even my truck that I had, I used to always keep a supply of food, a little bit of water, about at least, a few gallons. And even in my old truck, when I didn't even have a camper on it, I had a little to-go bag there, which had a change of clothes, some food, kept a 5-gallon water jug in the back, and even an emergency sleeping bag that was rated for cold weather. So,
we're here to help.
Yeah, for some reason.
Try and offer whatever you need.
I found myself stuck someplace. I could put little curtains up, those little window shades you buy for $1 at the Dollar Tree, put those up on the windows. And I could just crash out my truck until AAA came along to drag my ass home. Or, I can figure out what's wrong with my truck in the morning when I got some bit of light, or whatever. So that's basically what today's topic is preparedness. Now, I also have stuff in my van for my entertainment, like my TV set. Okay, that's fine. Another thing that I have in my vehicles is, I'll show you really quick. I do have in both of my vehicles, both my vans, a police scanner and a CB radio. Okay, this one's pretty slick. It's got an LED light for, I can program it to have a name and different color LED lights if I want to for who's talking on there. I have blue for fire, for police department. I have red for fire. You do whatever you like. So those are a couple things that I think every vehicle should have. Yes, I know. CB radios are so 70s and passe. Okay, everybody thinks about that, and they're thinking about convoy. But CB radios still have their place today. Because, number one, some truckers still use them, okay? And so you can get information. Number two, if you're driving with somebody else, in a couple of vehicles, and I've done this on a few occasions, where we're all driving halfway across. There's a bunch of us driving halfway across the country in 3 vans with a bunch of people. And so, cell phones, yeah, we had our cell phones, but they're not that feasible for if you gotta, take up your phone, hey, blah, 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 it's not very feasible. So, you're driving along, and you get on your radio, hey, pull over, I gotta take a 10-100, and something like that, or, hey, I'm hungry, or, hey, look at that. There's a lot of that going on, too. Our flat tires. Let me get the flat tire in the back of the pack there. Hey, everybody, gotta pull over, got a flat. And we did a lot of that, on the way to and from. When we went to Missouri and came back, that's what we did. We communicated through our vehicles. And in one of the vehicles, I made sure to have a whole bunch of food in it. So, there are people who called me a crazy prepper, but was glad I had food in my vehicle at all times. Because when we pulled over to stop to rest, it wasn't always in front of a 7-Eleven or an IHOP. No. We pull over to a rest stop, and we want some actual food. Or we did break down for a couple of days, and I had to get some parts. And so we were pulled over out in the sticks there. We're waiting for our parts to get in. And we had food and water.
210085.
So, yeah, and a police scanner. Yeah, I do have those in my vehicle. I'll let you know what's going on. The ones that I have in all my vehicles, I'm working on getting the cable and the program so I can program it from my laptop and download it to my scanner. I used to have one from old PR095 that I had. But these are more modern scanners. So, but even still, I would listen to, you know, police and fire. Some people are offended by that. I don't know why. Okay. There are people who tell me I should not own a scanner, including, you know, people who were supervisors or whatnot, or people who thought are my supervisors, people who were my equals, who were saying I should not own a scanner. I had a supervisor one time when I worked for a company in the Bay Area drop my case about carrying my scanner to work. It was one of the kinds you put in your pocket or holster or whatever. And so I'm like, okay, fine. I won't carry it where you can see it. Then one day I was in my van waiting to get into the swap meet. I had my scanner going. And the guy called me wanting me to go to work, which I said, you know, no, I can't. Here's my scanner going off, just like what you can probably hear right now. Asked me what that noise was in the background.
1612.
And I told him it was my scanner. He started reading me the right. I thought I told you, you're not supposed to have a scanner. Those things are against the law. They're against company policy. And I'm like, they're not against the law, and your company policy does not apply to me when I'm off the clock. I'm going to have you written up. You cannot have one. I'm like, whatever. I hung up on his ass. He called me back, started yelling at me again. I'm like, discuss it with the manager. I'm not going to discuss it with you. What I have when I'm off the clock. Bye. He was an idiot. One of those supervisors who thought he was Johnny Badass with a little gold tooth showing, hey, yeah, I'm all badass. Yeah. And even recently, we've had a person at work who's not even my supervisor or nothing, just some nobody, go crying to my boss about my scanner. Apparently, I guess she went crying to her boss, and they told her, you know, don't worry about it, it's none of your business. So she went crying to my boss, who basically wasn't even worried about it. Oh, well. So when that person is here, I only see that person for about 5 minutes, so I just wait till she's gone before I start bringing my scanner and setting that up at my desk and whatnot. But they are also very handy in your vehicles, so if you're having to hunker down someplace away from society because everybody's gone totally, you know, ape shit, like they're starting to do now, and you want to just avoid these people. Like this afternoon, I went and got a few groceries because I'm trying to keep my my stockpile, you know, kind of up to date, and, you know, get rid of some of my food that I've had for starting to expire. Either eat it or throw away the stuff that's already expired. But that's another thing you always got to watch out for too when you do prepping and you are stashing stuff away for such an occasion, is you do want to check your expiration dates on all your food. Keep, you know, about every once in a while go through and see what is expired, what is fixing to expire. So if you have, like, let's say a can of chili that's fixing to expire this month, then I will strongly suggest sometime this month that can of chili is on your menu. Simple. Because the last thing you want to be is stuck with all the stores being closed or looking like Venezuela and all your food's expired. You don't want that. So do keep an eye on that. Another thing that I suggest you keep in your vehicle is a portable radio, preferably AM, FM, and shortwave. You can find one. I have a couple of them, including a really nice old Zenith Transoceanic that I picked up for a song. That thing's fun. But that's something that, you know, yeah, your car radio's fine, but that could kill your battery, and, you know, why do all that? You know, if you just want some news. And yeah, do keep a cell phone handy. Nowadays you want a cell phone. I have one. But there's a number of things that I do keep in my vehicle. One of these days I might just do a whole show on that. Tools is another thing that I keep. Keep a good set of hand tools. I keep a few spare parts. I keep a, come along in here, a jack, a couple of jack stands. I also carry one of those foam mats that I can put on the ground. So if you got to fix something under your vehicle and you're stuck on a dirt lot, trust me, you want that. Even cardboard will work, but sometimes you can't find cardboard, so that's one of the things you want to keep. And in this particular van, I also have a few days worth of clothes that I keep in here. I keep some quarters. Just because if I gotta feed a meter or something like that. And don't draw all your cash out of the bank and start one of those deals, but do keep a few bucks in cash in your wallet during this time, if possible, because like I said, it's being blown way out of proportion, but this is actually probably a test run in case it really does hit the fan. I also strongly suggest that you keep your vehicles topped off at all times. It's like right now gas is actually kind of low because oil's down. So yeah, keep your tanks topped off. Even probably keep a jerry can stashed away with some extra gas in it. And there's a whole bunch of stuff that a lot of people do keep in their vehicles that I suggest keeping in your vehicle. A lot of it's, you know, especially if you have a van, you know, you keep a few pillows and blankets. Of course, I have a whole bed back here that turns into a couch, or a couch turns into a bed. I have my stove. I have quite a bit of propane in both of my vans. And yes, I do even have a portable crapper, plus some of that, you know, stuff that keeps it clean. And I do have a few rolls of toilet paper in both of my vehicles, both of my vans, and my motorhome that I'm working on. I'm working on all of them. Even in my motorcycle, my saddlebags, when the weather starts getting better, so I'm riding that, I even keep a day's supply of food and a gallon of water stashed away in there. I got, you know, saddlebags and a sissy bar bag, and so I have room to keep a lot of that stuff in. And another thing you want to keep handy, which I always keep handy, is matches. Keep a few packs of matches, whether you want it for your smokes. I also keep a few lighters handy. Whether you're a smoker and you want to light your cigars and pipe, or if you're stuck out in some middle of nowhere, you gotta light your camp stove, your heater, or a campfire. You do want to keep some of that stuff handy. And like I said, right now is the time I want to avoid Wally World. I want to avoid a lot of the larger box stores. Dollar General right now is not totally crazy. That's actually where I went to get a few groceries just to keep my supply up to date in case this gets totally out of hand, which I'm sure, I know how people are. I know how the media is. It's going to get totally out of hand if we let it. But my advice is, don't go out to Walmart or whatever and buy out every roll of shit paper there is within a 10-mile radius, or every bottle of hand sanitizer or whatnot. Okay? How many shits can you take? Come on. I mean, what are you going to do, you know? We have all these people in a few weeks, all this shit paper, they don't know what the hell to do with it. After this whole thing blows over. And that is another thing that I do too. That's one reason why I have all that stuff, because, you know, right now eBay's kind of slow. I'm still selling stuff, and I'm actually not doing too shabby on that. But, you know, when this starts to boil over and people start to, you know, get their heads out of their asses and whatnot, we're going to be back to business as usual. People start buying stuff again other than toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and, you know, trying to buy out the entire store. And yes, there have been fights at Walmart over toilet paper. I mean, it's starting to look like Black Friday. Oh my God. So, that is one of the reasons why, for years, I have kept a stash. Because I don't want to be one of those people who are in Walmart on the last day trying to fight over the last roll of shit paper in the county. You know, I'd rather be sitting in my secret hideout, watching this from a distance, you know, listening to it on my scanner, watching it on the news. But I don't want to be in the thick of it. And I suggest you do the same. So, take my advice. Okay, make sure your grocery list is up to date. Make sure you got a little bit of supply in your vehicle, in your van at all times. I would recommend about 2 weeks worth. Should be a good round number to keep. You know, in my van right now, I have 10 gallons of water, and I have a pretty good supply of food. So, I could probably ride this thing out if I had to for a couple weeks. Hopefully I won't have to. So anyway, that is my little spiel for today. I know it's kind of a long rant, but what else can I say, you know? Alright, wait.